Here's a number that should feel impossible. In 1987, a group of people in Austin, Texas, threw a little music festival. They expected 150 people to register. On opening day, 700 showed up. That festival was called South by Southwest. And over the next 40 years, it didn't just grow, it helped turn its entire city into something it had never been. Welcome to bcd-W. I'm your host. Today, how a single event rebuilds a city, and why what looks like luck is almost always something much more deliberate. Let's start with why we're talking about this today. This week, August 5th, community voting opened for the 2027 SXSW panel picker. It runs through August 23rd. Here's the interesting part. The festival itself isn't until March of 2027. That's 7 months away. And yet, right now, the public is already voting on which sessions should make it onto the stage. Think about that for a second. 7 months before the doors open, the audience is already involved. Hold on to that, because it's the key to the whole story. We'll come back to it. So, 1987. 700 people instead of 150. 177 acts on 15 stages. An idea that started in the offices of a local newspaper. Let's bring the outside world to Austin's creative community. Had gotten completely out of hand, in the best possible way. But the moment that really changed everything came in 1994 and 95. That's when SXSW did something strange. They took a music festival, and they bolted on two more things: interactive, meaning technology, and film. The founder later called it the moment the world fundamentally changed how it saw SXSW. And here's where it gets wild. Because that stage became a launchpad. Twitter caught fire at SXSW in 2007, Airbnb 2008, Uber and Foursquare 2009. Siri won the accelerator competition in 2010. For a while there, We Broke Out at South by was basically a ticket to Silicon Valley, and the city changed with it. Austin, the self-declared live music capital of the world, picked up a new nickname, Silicon Hills. Tesla moved its headquarters there. Oracle relocated. Apple built a major campus. And a single edition of the festival? It's been estimated to pump somewhere between $280 and $350 million into the local economy. Now, here's the part I really want you to hear. From the outside, this looks organic. Like Austin was just always cool, and this all kind of happened. Weird music town becomes tech magnet, of course it did. The reality is almost the opposite. This was a deeply strategic, long-term project, sustained over 40 years. No city's reputation gets built overnight. What actually happened was stubborn, boring repetition. Every single March, gather the world's creators and investors and journalists into the middle of your city. And then, do it again. And again. For 4 decades. The mechanism underneath is a flywheel. An event raises a city's profile. That profile pulls in more people. People draw media. Media draws companies. Companies draw talent. And talent throws more events. Round and round. But, and this is the whole thing, a flywheel does not spin on its own. Somebody has to keep pushing. And that's the real variable. Not the idea. Not the first big year. The sustainability of whoever is pushing. And Austin is living the hard version of that lesson right now. SXSW actually downsized in 2026. The economic impact dipped. The very success that built the city drove up rents and housing prices and gentrification. And the pandemic shook the whole premise of cramming tens of thousands of people into one place. So the power to change a city, that's real. But keeping the engine running for 40 years is a completely separate and much harder job. Okay, remember that voting thing I told you to hold on to? Let's come back to it. Because this is my favorite part. On the surface, panel picker community voting looks purely democratic. The people help pick the program. Lovely. But look at it as marketing, and it might be one of the most ingenious growth machines out there. Here's how it works. 1, it turns every single person who submits an idea into a marketer. The final score is 30% community vote, 40% expert reviewers, 30% SXSW staff. So to win that 30%, thousands of proposers go out and beg their own audiences, vote for my session. That's thousands of little marketing campaigns, advertising SXSW for free. 2. To vote, you have to make an account and log in. So 7 months before the event, SXSW is quietly collecting emails and building a list of people who are, by definition, interested. 3. Ownership. People care about what they helped choose. If you voted for a session, you're a lot more likely to actually show up in March. Participation converts into attendance. And 4. It keeps the whole thing alive year-round. Submissions in the summer, voting in August, festival in March. SXSW is never not in the conversation. So step back and look at what they pulled off. They handed the crowd both jobs at once, deciding what goes on stage and spreading the word, and got free research on what topics people actually care about as a bonus. The lesson, if you're building anything, an event, a product, a city, design participation so that participation is the marketing. Line up what your users want, to be chosen, to be seen, with what you want, to be known. Do that and the flywheel starts turning without a marketing budget. So, if you're a city looking at Austin thinking, I want that, 4 things. First, start with what you already have. Austin didn't invent something from nothing. It took a music scene that was already on fire and connected it to the outside world. Copy someone else's playbook, and it won't stick. Second, don't lock it to one genre. Music alone would have kept Austin a regional festival town. It was the collision, music plus tech plus film, that produced the unpredictable explosions. The more scenes you mix in one place, the more reasons the world has to look. Third, reputation is persistence, not nature. It was 40 years of showing up. You have to design it strategically, push it for the long haul, and, this is the one everybody underestimates, the organization doing the pushing has to survive without burning out. And fourth, budget for the bill that success brings. When people pour in, rents rise, and gentrification follows. An event that grows a city has to own those side effects too, or it doesn't make it to the next 40 years. So here's where I'll leave you. The next time a city seems to have gotten lucky, a festival, a scene, a sudden gravity that pulls everyone in, look closer. Underneath it, there's almost always someone who kept pushing the flywheel quietly for a very long time. And if you've got an idea you'd love to see on that stage, the 2027 SXSW panel picker vote is open through August 23rd. Might be worth gathering a few votes. This has been bcd-W. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next week.